Hello, my name is Bill Haley, and this is part of my 3-minute introduction series into Haley 2024, The Movement's Government Reform Ideas. This video is going to be on the current private law. So we currently have private law in a lot of industries, in a lot of ways we currently have it. So why do we need to go to the competitive regulatory structure? Well, because government is still in charge way too much. We need to go further into private law. Let's go over to a couple things. Homeowners associations is currently private law. There's a lot of trade associations, private law. There's a lot of trade associations in many industries that are they regulate and they have control over some things. But there's not a lot of competitiveness. Usually a trade association, it takes a big bulk of that sector, sector of whatever they're regulating. We have currently private arbitration businesses. We want to go further into that. The private court system that I want to go to, that's one of the sectors, is the judicial sector. And we're going to have real courts, real judges. They can put out real sentences, convict people. They can do real things, make real decisions, just like the arbitration courts can do right now. But we're going to go much further into it than we do now. Government's monopoly to private law. Currently, government gives certain private law to certain organizations. The Federal Reserve is said to be private, but they're the only ones that are allowed to do banking regulations and regulate money and banks and the like. Whatever the Federal Reserve does, it is a monopoly given to it by government. So it's not private. I want a dozen different ones, a dozen different Federal Reserves, and everybody picks which one they want to go with. So with competitive currencies. Look at that full system, by the way. I have a very unique way of doing currency. Private accreditations for education. There's currently private accreditations for education that has a major monopoly, and there's a lot of abuse in that system. A lot of corruption, because it has so much power. The power of saying that somebody has or does not have an accreditation is tremendous. We want to take that away. We want to go to competitive regulatory agencies. And that's going to take away that tremendous power, because you can go to another CRA, competitive regulatory agency, and get accredited. Now, depending on the ratings are going to play a big role. If the ratings go down, your accreditation might not mean so much in the eyes of the consumer, or in the eyes of the consumer as a business, as a consumer, the hospital, if you like. The American Bar Association, private organization, but giving government power of who can and cannot practice law. Way too much power. That's monopoly power. So you see how current private law is still too much government power. Whether it's government gave a private organization the authority, which gives it government power, and it's a monopoly still, or some of the things are just minor, realtors and BBB, private or arbitration. These are more minor in our economy right now. I want to make it a lot better. Therefore, until the next video.